In today's demo, we'll be looking at ARCO compliance with a particular focus on the compliance screen. Now, one of the key differentiators between ARCO compliance and other compliance solutions on the market is that it can take data in real time. Because it sits on your SAP BTP environment, it can continuously pull live data, and that allows us to do a series of compliance checks on various data. Now, this is key functionality as it allows teams to then not have to wait till the end of the month to fix all of these different errors that may appear at the end of the month when you're trying to do the VAT return. Instead, you can focus and try and fix those in real time so that by the time the end of the month comes and you're able to do your VAT return, it's almost ready to be filed. Now, I'll talk you through the various different checks that we can do. As you can see here, this is our compliance error screen. It's taking data in real time and doing a number of basic checks. So we're obviously checking the country that is the reporting country. We're checking the declaration that belongs to. We're checking a number of different reporting periods that it could belong to and assigning that to the particular declaration. Then we're also doing a number of mandatory data checks. So based on the particular country, there may be very specific requirements that you need to file in that country, such as transaction level data. And those particular checks are then also done once we have figured out what declaration that belongs to. Now you'll see here, we have the errors broken down at the very top of the screen by company code, by reporting country, and also by error type. So this gives great visibility to the users in terms of what particular companies may have various different errors. If there's a particular company code that you are always working on, but may have visibility on others, then you can focus on those company codes that are relevant to you. You can also look at the reporting countries assigned and focus on the particular errors that may have been populated based on the particular transaction. What we also break down is the values. So you can look at the amount of errors that have been reported for that particular, say, company code or country. But also you can focus on the particular values that have been assigned. So for example, if there was an EC sale, obviously that is zero VAT value. But if you were looking at domestic flows, they would have, say, potentially VAT charged and carry maybe a higher risk. So you may want to focus on those values that have a higher percentage of VAT charged and focus on getting those resolved quicker because there's a higher risk attached. Now, if we go down here, you'll see a number of different errors flagged. We can filter via various different information. So you can filter via company code, reporting country, declaration owner, and error type, which is very important because you may want to focus on various different reporting errors that you can fix. So, for example, I mentioned mandatory data earlier, where there may be specific information missing in your master data in SAP that we need for filing the VAT returns. So if we just focus on those ones for the time being, because there's a particular set of actions that can be taken on these transactions. So if we focus on this, for example, you can see here, this is broken down by company code, by company name, the reporting country, and then it will also have here various different information about that particular document. So it will show the tax reporting date, the document date, what transaction it is in terms of whether it's a domestic purchase, a domestic sale, the tax code assigned, and the VAT rate, along with all of the different amounts, say net VAT. Then it will show you the particular errors that have been assigned to that declaration or transaction. So in this case, there's actually two errors that have been flagged for this particular transaction. One is a missing document number and one is a missing date of receipt. So these are two mandatory fields that are needed for this particular country, Poland being the country involved. And then there are a set of actions that you can take in order to correct this. You can enter the data. So if you know that, okay, for this particular Invoice, I know that I received it on this date, and then you can proceed onwards. Or if you don't have the relevant information at that time, you can decide to put it on hold until you receive that information. You may have to gather the information internally or maybe from a supplier. Or if you decide internally that you're not going to report this for some reason, then you can decide to exclude it altogether, and that will exclude that then from that particular declaration. There's also different information in terms of maybe you want to change the reporting period. So say, for example, this transaction has been identified as being incorrectly reported in the declaration that we've assigned it to. So it's been dated prior to the reporting period that it has been assigned. And we're flagging that to the user in order for them to make an informed decision. Should that then be reported in the current period? Does it belong in a previous period, or maybe in a period further back than that? So depending on the information, the user can look at that and then make an informed decision with their tax team as to what period that transaction should be reported in. And you can see here that there's an additional step that can be included. In addition to those steps that I mentioned of include, exclude, on hold, there's also a change tax period option here. So if I say, okay, this document has a document date of January, tax reporting date is the March period, I want to include it, say, in January, I can then put a little comment in to see what that is for, and then proceed. Now, if I go into that particular declaration, that will then show me that particular transaction in that period. And it's important that this is all monitored and auditable, because there's been a decision made on that particular transaction, and it is easy to see from this tool that we have made a decision and we've included it now here in the adjustments tab. So you can see here, this is the VAT return for this particular company code that we made on this transaction. This is the document number here, and it has been added into this particular VAT return. And the adjustment type that we've made is that we've changed the tax period and we've added it to include it in this particular VAT return. So it's a really key functionality in terms of understanding that this decision has been made, it's monitored, it's auditable. So if the tax authorities ask, why has this been done, there is a decision here with a comment, whatever the case may be. So it's really key functionality because it allows VAT teams to make decisions in real time, not having to wait until the end of the month or till the VAT declaration period submission date, and then trying to scramble to get all that information. Teams can work on all of these declaration errors and try and fix them in real time. Thank you very much. If you need any further information, feel free to visit us at meridianglobalservices.com.